Hey guys, welcome back to the Long Dark Nomad Challenge. Let's go ahead and resume our game. Alright, last we left off, actually we probably weren't in the barn. A lot has happened since we last were in the last episode. So let me show you here in the Nomad Challenge screen. We have spent almost almost 6 days in the barn, 3 days in the radio control hut, 3 days in the rural store, 3.5 days in the abandoned lookout, and 3 days in the Cinder Hills coal mine. So a lot has happened offline. I have been recording, and I've been having problems with those recordings. Sometimes it works, sometimes the audio doesn't work very well. Okay, so I thought I'd throw together a few clips of what has happened since the last episode. A lot has happened. You can see here I'm harvesting some rabbits. I think I ended up getting 3 rabbits here as we are heading to the country store gas station to spend 3 days in that area. But these rabbits were really useful. We went to the store, organized our gear, and I laid out the rabbit skins and guts to cure so that we could use those later on. Okay, then we ventured to nearby in Pleasant Valley. There's a barn. This is just outside the barn where we find our first hatchet, which was a really big score. I was really excited to find that, and some arrows, as you can see there. We shot a wolf near the barn in the evening and harvested up his pelt and meat. And then just beautiful sunset. Love the lighting as we're heading heavy. We're heavy with meat heading back to the barn. Now after I put everything down, we ventured out. It was late at not quite night, but getting very dark near the barn, and I spotted the moose. I wanted to take that shot, but it was getting cold and dark, and so I decided to sleep. I spent the next day actually looking for the moose, but instead I found the bear that we had shot earlier that had run off. I spotted the crows actually hovering over the bear. If you remember, we took a shot at a bear and he ran off. We never did find him until now. I came across the ravens, which showed me where he was. So I quartered him up into these bags, super heavy, and made multiple trips from the bear back to the barn. And then as we're waiting for our 3 days at the barn, we sat and cooked up all the meat. Got a fire going outside the barn as well as one inside to try to speed up the cooking process, as I wanted to level up my cooking and also just get the bear meat cooked and prepared. Also ventured out and explored the radio tower, as this is one of the other locations where we had to spend 3 days. So after spending 3 days at the barn, we headed over here to the radio tower. Got here late and rested up. In the morning, I started cooking the meat. We're continuing to cook the bear meat when I saw this bear. He probably smelled us. Didn't realize you can't shoot through the chain link fence, so I kind of wasted a bullet there. But I wanted this bear, especially so close to our radio tower where we have to spend 3 days. I took a bit of a risk here. I really should have put down a fire first as I approached this bear and take a headshot. Missed, or I didn't hit the head, but did hit his body. Got mauled. As soon as I wake up, I'm thinking, I'm not letting this bear get away. I need the meat, I need the pelt. We're so close to the radio shack here, radio tower. And I didn't want to haul the meat from far away. I didn't want to have to track down this bear when he bled to death. So I hurried and treated my bleeding wound, and then immediately ran up to this hill and set a fire to protect myself from a bear attack again, because I knew I was going to be going after this bear. So I got a fire started, and then I realized my gun wasn't in my inventory. I must have dropped when I was attacked, so I got the gun and headed back up to the fire for security. And just in time, as I reload the gun, I can hear the bear nearby. he decides he's coming back. So I think the fire holds him at bay. I'm able to get another headshot there and put him down. I was just really happy. So close to the radio tower here where I could harvest him up and get his fur. And you know, there's not a lot to do in this tower when you're waiting for 3 days to pass. So it was good I was able to work on cooking and get the pelt curing as well for the 3 days. So I went ahead and harvested up this guy. And it was sometime around here where I realized that I could actually eat. Oh, here we go. So this is showing my clothing. So the bear did destroy my jeans and one of my wool toque hats, which was really too bad. So I'm down to one hat. What I was about to say is I realized very soon there that I could actually eat the bear meat without getting sick, without getting parasites. So it must have to do something with this difficulty. Here, just for fun, we're nearby the tower, the radio tower, but I wandered back to our first cave that we encountered, if you remember way back when. I harvested up our cured guts, and then headed back up to the tower. Here's a beautiful view of the valley, not far from that first cave that we encountered and stayed in. And there's the radio tower. Just gorgeous scenery. We had a clear day, so I went ahead and mapped. Got a lot of mapping done through this process. After we spent 3 days at the radio tower, we headed back to the barn and got everything curing, all the pelts laid out. Here you can see I've got my 3 rabbit pelts that cured from when we were at the country store. And since we lost our wool toque, I decided I'd go ahead and make a rabbit fur skin hat, which you can see here. And those are actually really good hats. So we've replaced our broken wool hat with this rabbit hat. Okay, we headed back to the store, general store, where I had left some extra pair of jeans and put those on after the bear destroyed my jeans. Just kind of laid everything out, all the things we didn't need, so we're not too heavy as we travel. Okay, so we've knocked out the barn for 3 days, the radio tower for 3 days. Here we are heading back up to the mine, coal mine, and saw this deer along the way. Thought we could get his deer skin and some meat before we head up to the mine. So we go ahead and harvest up this guy. Got his deer skin. Just beautiful antlers. A beautiful animal. And they have introduced on this this update, they did introduce the female deer, the doe. And I know in real life we should not be shooting the doe, so I'm curious to see if people in this game tend to shy away from shooting the female deers or not. I certainly have been trying not to. It's a gorgeous sunset as we headed back up to the mine. This is a view from the entrance to the coal mine as I'm cooking up all the deer meat and getting ready to stay 3 days in the coal mine. Here it's very late at night as we are continuing the process of cooking the deer meat. Just beautiful, clear night before a storm rolls in. And we're leveling up our cooking, getting the deer meat all cooked up. Laid out the deer skin and the guts. Here's our shelf of extra items. Then after 3 days in the mine, we head through the mine and find our way at the coastal highway, I think it's called. As I'm wandering around here, I stumble across this, not too far from the exit of the mine. And this appears to be an abandoned lookout tower, which is one of our locations on our challenge that we need to spend 3 days here. So I headed up into the abandoned lookout tower. Again, just an amazing view on a clear day here. So we go ahead and map this. Abandoned lookout tower. And you can see we're not too far from the entrance of the mine. I was so sad when in the tower we found this case. I was excited to see it, and then it's completely empty. But that's one of the best items in the game right there. If it were there, it would have been the distress pistol, flare gun. I did some wandering around, got caught in a blizzard, and just barely was able to find my way back in the blizzard to the abandoned lookout tower. So here we spend our time making a fire, mending our items, just hanging out with, there's a dead guy in the corner. I called him Smelly, so we spent some time with Smelly there in the corner, put our guts over there by him to cure. But in the morning, just a beautiful snowy day outside the window. Did some hunting, wandering around, and when I came back to the tower, there was another deer right here at the tower. So take that shot. Got a deer real close by again, so we could get the pelt curing and get some more meat, level up our cooking. So this was a really good find, so close to the abandoned lookout tower. That helped us pass the time cooking this guy up, and as well as some more rabbits that I was able to find. Okay, I think we have left the tower now. I'm trying to think where we are. We got a wolf. I think we're heading back to the barn at this point after spending 3 days at the tower, and a wolf didn't like all that meat I was carrying. He wanted some of that. He didn't like how smelly I was, so you can see I'm very heavy here with all the deer meat I'm carrying, but I decided to go ahead and take the wolf pelt as we headed back across the bridge, past the gas station, and back to what I would consider our home base here, the barn. And at this point we could lay out all of our pelts again, the deer pelts, wolf pelts, let them all dry. But one thing I have learned is that this probably isn't the best challenge for a video because of all the waiting when we go into the different locations, and then we have to spend 3 days in each of those locations. So I think maybe a better option would be for me to call it quits on this challenge. I mean, I'll probably complete the challenge. I think I'm really having a lot of fun. This is really just in the last I don't know, few days I've been playing offline that I haven't posted. It's just really fun going. I think I've learned a lot, getting better with the guns, with crafting, with staying warm, with avoiding wolves and bears. I did kill 2 bears and I think 2 or 3 wolves and a bunch of rabbits. We have crafted for ourselves the rabbit hat. Here you can see she's wearing that. I've got some hides over here curing. I've got some deer hides, wolf pelts in my inventory. I have crafted the bearskin bedroll, which took 2 bear skins, I believe. So we've really made a lot of progress. But I think what I'm going to do is try to sort out these video and audio recording issues. But more importantly, I want to play a survival game that's more fun and also permanent. One of the problems with doing the challenge is that once you complete the challenge, your game is gone. Like everything, all the loot you've created, all the bases and everything that you've created for yourself, it's gone. Whereas if you do a survival game, like Interloper or Stalker or something, unless Hinterland, the company that makes this game, unless they release some big update, which they just recently did, usually you can just keep your game indefinitely. But if they release a really big update, then it's possible that it's not compatible with your save game. Although I have seen there are some people who are able to continue playing their old save games somehow. At any rate, I want to take a minute to say thank you to one gentleman. I believe his name is Milknorf, who's given me a lot of encouraging advice and support in the comments. And there's been a few other people who've been really supportive, and it means a lot to me. I just want to say thank you for encouraging me to keep learning this game and to get better at it. And I think it's paid off. So I'm going to take what I've learned and apply that to some of the other challenges, or not challenges, the survival games going forward. And I want to take a moment to ask you listening right now, if you are listening to this please comment. Even if this video has been out for a long time, go ahead and comment and let me know that you've made it this far. I do read the comments and I will get back to you, and I do appreciate your encouragement. Let me know if you want to see more episodes of The Long Dark, and if you prefer like Interloper or Stalker or one of the easier difficulties, if you think I should try those out. At any rate, I think this might be the last episode for this playthrough, just because of, like I mentioned, all the video problems, audio problems that I've had, and also just the nature of the Nomad challenge, just kind of long and awkward for recording, because you just have to sit and wait at each location, 3 days in each location, and the difficulty is really not that bad, not that difficult. I'm finding. So this is me saying thank you for watching, and I do hope you'll check out my other videos. Go ahead now and check out my other playlists and see what I have available. I hope to see you in the next Long Dark video playthrough. So thank you so much, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.